My name is Elaine. I am the Head of Digital Acceleration for Zuellig Pharma, and joining me today, we actually have Haishan, who is our Chief Technology Officer for a solution called Easy Tracker. And we are very honored to be invited here today to speak with you how blockchain, and we have deployed it to use it in our Easy Tracker solution for end-to-end traceability of vaccines management and other medicines, so that there will be a fairer, wider vaccine distribution. All right, a little bit of advertisement here, so bear with me for a little while. We are a privately owned company, and this year we will celebrate our 100 years, so quite a long time in the business. 12,000 employees, so not that small. We have yearly about 13 billion of sales each year. And across the 13 markets that we operate in Asia, we actually service 500 clients, and the names here are just a small subset and teaser of what we have today. So as you would imagine, 90% of the healthcare markets in the key countries that we operate in will be our customers. Okay. And over here, we have a suite of services, we call it integrated services, that we carry from the healthcare manufacturer all the way to the patients and consumers. Warehouse and distribution is our primary bread and butter business, so we are most known for it. However, we also have sales and marketing units, clinical trials, we manage them, patient care services, and in the unit where Haishan and myself come from, digital and data solutions, we have used digital solutions as well as data analytics to augment our service offerings to patients, to HCPs, healthcare providers, as well as the client, we call them our manufacturers as well. Okay, so today is about vaccine, right? Our topic, modern day challenges. So if you don't have information, data integrated, so what the complexities are. So imagine you have a COVID-19 vaccine and you don't really know where it's going, and COVID-19 vaccine, as we all know, is very temperature sensitive. And if the temperature is not maintained before it's being administered to you guys, technically you can throw away the vaccine. It's not going to be useful anymore, correct? So if you don't have that information, or the manufacturers don't have that information, so what's happened? The supply chain is unable to see the end-to-end of it, the distribution side. I cannot control, I don't know. I know I'm maintaining the temperature, but is it at the right temperature? Pfizer, we all know it's at minus 80 degrees Celsius. So how many of you have taken Pfizer vaccine? Maybe a lot, right? Okay. So how do you keep that temperature? A distributor like us, and we are a national vaccination partner for many governments, we have to ensure that this is all followed through, right? So if you don't have all this information, you don't have blockchain, you don't have digital solutions, it's quite hard technically to identify where we are in that whole chain of things. And from a healthcare provider, I don't want to keep so much stock of vaccines because I don't have the cold chain capabilities to keep a lot of them. I don't store them. And if we order too much, it goes to waste. If we order little, then there's not enough to inject into the patients that come to us. And for patients themselves, they want to be assured of the quality assurance. So like you and me, who are the receivers of the vaccine, we need to make sure that something injected to us is not of a suboptimal quality or even counterfeits per se. So with that, the key supply chain, also counterfeits is a big issue, as well as temperature excursion, so not in control. All this will cause margin erosion, wastage, and then other people who might be benefiting or want to benefit from the vaccines cannot, because all these are thrown away, right? Now, using vaccines to vaccination and how we've used it with blockchain. So Easy Tracker, we're going to go through it a little bit more in detail. So in Easy Tracker, we've got this solution that traces the products. We make sure that it's serialized all the way. We can track up to an individual product level. Okay, and that information can be used by our healthcare providers. Technically, they are able to forecast how much inventory that they will need to be in their organization, in their centers to be ready for vaccination, and then they can deploy enough resources, nurses and such, to help to administer the vaccine into you. And for the patients, we can then, with some form of an app, of a solution, as well at the end user end, we are able to ensure the quality, so we can able to see whether or not it's at the right temperature. It is an authentic product, so if you imagined what you have, maybe we might all have that Save Together, Trace Together app, and actually it shows you the vaccine you've taken, your health, the health services as well will be able to show you that information, and patients can actually be comforted on that. And in a larger scheme of things, the regulators will be able to see the whole scheme of data, where is the vaccine as well going, and also have that checkpoints to know, vaccination centers, are they performing what they're supposed to do. I'll quickly move on as well. Easy Tracker has a fair bit of benefits. We track product authenticity. We monitor the traceability, cold chain monitoring. We can ensure, and prevent sales rechanneling, as well as helping auto replenishment, making sure that, forecasting and everything is better, patient engagement, and also sustainability-wise, e-product information, right? And so with, this easy tracker and end-to-end supply chain traceability, we increase supply chain resilience because we can see from every step of the way, where is it going, how is it going, and whether it's on the optimal temperature. It optimizes working capital as well, so you don't go too much wastage. You can foresee, forecast, and do better inventory planning, and patients can be ensured of safety, prevent counterfeits. They know what's going on, they can actually relate back to us, and improve digital capabilities and improve the processes as well. At the end of the day, that actually helps the companies to forefront the elements of them to be a market leader. I'll now pass on then to Haishen, who is going to talk to you, a deep dive into enterprise blockchain and how that has bring forth the whole vaccine management in Zuellig Pharma. Haishen, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Elaine. I think to answer this, how to accelerate the vaccination distribution to adopt the blockchain, there are three major things. One is the secure in the pharmacy manufacturer side. Another one is the trustworthy from the end user, the consumer side. The third thing is about how ready for the participant to adopt the production. Yeah, we have a ready production, yeah. So Easy Tracker is a blockchain-enabled solution. So what is blockchain? Blockchain is a distributed ledger technology. You can see from here that there are so many benefits from the blockchain. Among them, security and trust and transparency are the things that we can solve the issue we mentioned, and also this can be, can ensure the participant to share the information across the blockchain network easily and transparently. Beyond that, the immutability and the traceability are the more important feature provided by the blockchain. So for us to adopt that in the pharmacy supply chain traceability. Yeah, so we use the hybrid fabric as a solution. Why is that? Because there are two main reasons. One is that this is an enterprise level solution, blockchain solution. The second one is, this is the, there are a lot of use cases in the, a lot of the industries across the whole world. So to be more specific, there are some, scalability and high modularized architecture. So this is to make it easy to evolve more use case, more business use case, and more business requirement. So another thing is for the smart contract, the smart contract by the fabric is developed with the generalized purpose language like Java, JVM. So this reduced the burden from developers so that they only need to focus on the business logic instead of to learn a new language or to put a lot of effort in the development side. So there are no any mining, no any cryptocurrency embedded in the hybrid fabric. So this is towards the environment saving. So any of the new data coming, any of the transaction to be settled, there are no any energy wastage. Last but not least, hybrid fabric is a permission blockchain. So this is to ensure that only the specific selected participant are able to share and access the confidential data in the blockchain network. So what we have done, we released the market-ready solution went live in year 2020. So you have any data in your current platform, be it the master data, be it the treats and track data, be it the cold chain temperature data, right? We are able to load the data through the ETL process, extract, transfer, and loading of the data easily to load all the data from the existing system to the blockchain network through the open API. So in the middle of that is the EasyTracker blockchain. This is where the magic happens in here. So there are two major parts. As I said, this is based on Hyperledger Fabric. So the main part of the EasyTracker blockchain is once there are the ledger update program and the smart contract verification. So what is smart contract? To be very, very simple, smart contract is nothing but a software application to be triggered, to be executed automatically when there's any new data or there's any new transaction coming. So this is just automation of the business verification. This is the first part of the EasyTracker solution. The second part is the data model. So for in the ledger, there are a lot of the data model, be it the master data and the cold chain data, the patient information, everything we save that in the ledger. I mean, for now, we save everything in the ledger. We also share the data across the whole data network, right? If we don't expose that to the public, to the other stakeholders, then there are no any value. So we developed a lot of a group of interface, the APIs, so that for the other stakeholders, the consumer or the manufacturer and the other healthcare service vendor, so that they can consume our service for the authenticity and the product information to the customer, the trace and track and the monitoring, report to the manufacturer, anything to the healthcare service vendor, so that they can build their own application based on our blockchain information and the open interface. Yes, so before, after that, today in this year, January of 2022, we went live the first multi-cloud infra, in the pharmacy supply chain area. So there are very, very easy way for you to create your own node, and then you can, create the, connect this node to the EasyTracker blockchain. So there are two ways for you to contribute, for you to, to connect to the EasyTracker blockchain. One way is that you can build up your own node in any of the popular public cloud, Azure, AWS, GCP, and then you can use our cookbook to help all our automation script, or even you can delegate us to do to set up the node for you, and then maintain the node for you, so that we can use this node to connect to the EasyTracker blockchain network. This is one way. Another way is that if you have already set up your own blockchain network, then you can connect with us through the interoperability provided by EasyTracker blockchain. So the purpose is we don't want to create another silo, because I think currently in the blockchain network there are so many silos. Different blockchain network create a different silo. So what we want to do is we want to break the silos so that we can create a more wider, bigger ecosystem, so that we can share the information across the whole industry. Yes, so we want to share some the benefit to our stakeholders. We have the blockchain network. We can integrate the current system. We have the serialize and tag the unique ID in the data matrix format to any of the unique drug pack. We also integrate our predefined operation to the supply chain. We also provide the data analytics to our customer, to our manufacturers, so that they can have more insight to the data. We also provide the open interface to the healthcare service vendor. We also create a very simple, very straightforward, very simple application for the end user to consume, to check the validity and the product information. So the last thing, the dashboard is one of the reasons why our customer, the manufacturer, would like to work with us, because we can provide the real-time product information in the supply chain area. We can also provide the study and the insight of the end user behavior based on the scan and the geolocation information. The last one, but not the least, more importantly, we can provide the security investigation so that based on the suspicious activities, we can predict, we can tell the manufacturer what are the some bad thing happens. Yeah, so with that, I will transfer to Elaine for some successful use stories.
Thank you, Haishan. Back to me again. So these are true stories. So keep your butts on the chairs and listen off to them. Well, this is first it came to us. In Hong Kong there was HPV vaccines that were counterfeited, and it caused kind of a panic scare all over locally. And the client has come to us and say, can you build up an authenticating tool for us to help assure our patients basically that whatever that they have taken is a genuine product, right? And so from there, about 1 million products that we have put on place for these HPV vaccines to ensure that these are non-counterfeit. So technically the users can scan and you can see the mobile phone apps over there. The green means good, it's sold and recognized in Hong Kong, and the orange means no go, so don't go and take this vaccine. So they might mimic the codes or whatever that we have put in place as security, but it will come out as a particular reader on the app, okay? But behind the scenes, we have a lot more data. And I would say, from here as well, this actually was quite a success story for Hong Kong. And further from that, we actually helped also law enforcement agencies across for illicit diversion, so cross-border of information as well. So Kinson over there, I have a team member who is around us. He's actually monitoring who is the blacklist products, UUIDs and products or clinics that's going around doing some illegal diversion or issues. Now, very quickly, we move on to Korea. Korea has also a big news that, vaccines were left out in the sun, and hence, they were no longer efficient anymore, as we talked about earlier in the earlier part where the vaccines, once the temperature is compromised, then actually, technically, you can't actually use that. So a flu vaccination program was stopped by the government. Patients and government wanted more accountability. The client, we've helped also build upon the cold chain monitoring place. So temperature loggers were put in place, information was uploaded into blockchain, everybody had visibility, patients used apps and they could scan and they could know whether their products was of the cold chain correct temperature. And that information was also then transposed to government to be able to monitor as well, right? Now, then the very last thing, very exciting, we had the Philippines. So we had helped the Philippines government to have the end-to-end vaccination program. So this entails, the blockchain where we were able to trace, vaccination, making sure, where is the supply chain going. And earlier we talked about the benefits of inventory management. So yes, it actually happened here. The vaccination centers, so we had 220 vaccination centers, were able to forecast and able to be right in terms of how much of the products or the vaccines that needs to be put in place with them. And from the end user wise, they would actually also be able to first authenticate their products. It also works like a passport. They know what kind of vaccine they've taken, the batch number, the serial number, and everything will be included in it. And they also were able to schedule their vaccine appointments as well, so that the whole ecosystem in Philippines management could actually be able to be more efficient and get through that vaccination program. And from the users as well, if there is a segment for them to report adverse events. So if they take there's some issues with the product or they're not sure that if the product is authentic or not, there is a space for them to report up the information, and that goes into us as well as the manufacturers as well, kind of to make sure that we will work on to it. And the very interesting part, as a government themselves, they need to have stats. So for example, our own government needs to find out how many people are vaccinated, how many percentage, etc. All this information is available. And just now where Haishan was sharing about the dashboards, basically the government have the dashboards of all the vaccination centers. So I know you are male, female, what demographics, what race, religion you are, and able to compile all the statistics to know whether how much of the population has been actually getting the vaccine. We have run out of time. If not, I would have shown a video, but we will then not be able to do that today. But do join us in LinkedIn, whoever who has that QR code, scan us, join us, contact us, or maybe just drop by and talk to myself and Haishan later on. We can share more about our solution.
Thank you so much for sharing. I think we got some questions that came up through the chat function, so maybe you can just have time to take just one. Right, so for Winston, there are some privacy concerns in the use of blockchain. I mean, with use of vaccines considered, private information, how could you potentially mitigate such risks?
Maybe I'll take this question. So in the blockchain world, there are at least four types of blockchain: public, permissioned, private, and hybrid. So in our solution, we use the permissioned blockchain. So that means the information, especially for the privacy information, will not be exposed to any of the random people. So only selected permissioned participants are allowed to join in this blockchain network. So in this case, if we use a public blockchain, it means anyone can join in this blockchain, anyone can contribute, anyone can change, anyone can access. So there are some privacy concerns, but for the permission of enterprise or permission enterprise or consortium or whatever, so this type of blockchain, there are no this type of privacy concern. Yeah.